Let's hopefully... Well, we'll just play the bronzes, like I said. Okay, so that one could give him points if he goes for Keldar. If he goes for Keldar... We don't have a great way to kill it, honestly. We could Indication it. Oh, he didn't shield it? We don't even have to Indication it then. That's just Ungate Sorted. Thank you. That's really good for us. If we can play that before... If we play that before Golden Nekkar, the Golden Nekkar will trigger it, and then the special card it'll play will trigger. And if the artifact could be Tome, which could trigger it, depending on our deck setup. So that's actually really strong. Keldar is a fantastic card for us to get. But like I said, these decks just don't run removal. So we're completely safe from everything. And this is the danger of decks without removal. Any deck with no removal is so subject to combos like this. Today we're going to be looking at a very, very interesting deck, and I'm really excited to share this one. This is a soldier deck of sorts, so let's get into it. It's an Imperial formation soldier deck. We are running several bronze soldiers. We're also playing Ring of Favor, Golden Nekkar, Siri Nova. The reason why is I made this deck to target two things in particular, and one being Sihil decks, which were very popular the other day. Idea here being Imperial formation. You just put the leader charges on the damaged Sirens, and that kind of just ends the whole Sihil thing, unless they have Gerd in their hand as well, which gets harder, but we're going to run our defender for that, so basic answer there. And the other thing we're going to target here, which is what I ran into a lot earlier today, is the Shieldwall deck. Shieldwall Golden Nekkar being very, very popular, a lot of games, and this deck does very well against that. It has no removal, usually don't even run Seltkirk, and we are running Cahir, so that just sort of ends the game. But let's get into the whole deck here. That's just the idea of why I built this. We are running, start at the bottom this time. We have several soldiers. So we're running the Ardfen Tortoise and Nilfgaardian Knights as Megascope targets. And then we have the Crossbowmen and Pikemen. So I did actually go for a bit of soldier engine value here. Crossbowmen's really nice. You could go for higher tempo cards if you want. I wanted a bit of soldiers in here. Crossbowmen's not bad. Gets you that 2 damage. 2 damage is pretty handy. Have that armor. Oh, by the way, while we're on the topic of Sihil a little while ago, the Imperial formation gives you plenty of armor, which is nice to help cancel out some damage. That is nice. So we have the crossbows. The pikes are interesting. So here's the thoughts behind the pikes. So pikes you can actually do megascopes on. If you're going up against a deck that's going to play a long round 1, megascoping the pikemen is better than the Nilfgaardian Knights. That's basically what it comes down to. If you need to do a long round 1, this gives you a few more points than the Nilfgaardian Knight over the course of the round, depending how early you play the megascopes. And sometimes that damage is really nice. We are running the Hengate Sword, so it is handy for that to help set up. The pikemen are handy to help set that up, which is why they're in here. I will mention some different card alternatives at the end of the video. If you want to see like different alternatives for these spots, check that out. We have the Nilfgaardian Knights, premium opening play here. So what you normally want to do, play Nilfgaardian Knight, not boost anything, and then just go into the megascopes on them. Pretty handy. And then the 2 elbow armor cavalry. So you'll notice here we have a lot of removal in the deck here and a lot of answers. We have some ping damage here, it's not too bad, but when we get up to the gold cards, which we will right now, the elbow armor cavalries kind of fill in as the spot to deal with things that we don't have a good way to kill. So say we have to use one of our removal cards on a defender, and they play Idarin, for example. They're a meditating mage player, which for some reason is making a comeback as well. Then you can just lock it. So having the lock's really nice. It's not the highest tempo play, which might give us a slight disadvantage against other Golden Nekkar decks. So the Skellige one, the Golden Nekkar Magic Compass deck, we might have a little worse matchup there because these cards aren't as high tempo as they could be. So you might consider changing these if you really find yourself lacking tempo. But I found the ability to lock stuff really handy to have in the deck. We have the Arcane Tome to tutor stuff, Knickers and a Roach, obviously. And then we have Invocation, Hengate Sword. So Hengate Sword is very, very good. I think everyone kind of knows that. There's a couple funny interactions with it, which I think I'll make a separate video on. Hengate Sword has a couple odd interactions, but I'll talk about that later. Different video. This is about the deck. So we have 2 good answers here. Hengate Sword is just 5 damage. But you can usually you want to take a removal card with this, or a big engine card if you can. In the mirror match, getting a second Vilgefortz is by far the strongest thing you can do. So against other Nilfgaard players, Vilgefortz is pretty common. Use the Hengate Sword on it, get another one. Just beware they're trying to do the same thing to you. With the Aerondight, Aerondight's amazing. We have the tempo for it, so that's really good. It has removal, it has boost, it has everything you want in it. We Ring of Favor. So Ring of Favor is a slot. Ring of Favor's nerf makes it a little harder to fit in. That is true, and there's a couple other tempo options you could be running here. So there's a couple options in this slot you could go with, but nothing I really wanted to do. Like, we still need that round 1 tempo. And since Ring of Favor got nerfed, you see a lot less. And since you see it a lot less, people tend to be cutting Spores. So Spores used to be a 4-person card that people would slot into their decks because Ring of Favor is so popular. With Ring of Favor falling out of favor a little bit, you see less Spores, making it better. So I opted to keep it in here. It is really nice to have that option, that big boost round 1. And obviously the Golden Nekkar, we've got our Serenova. And then the stars of the show here. Oh, did I mention a Fawn? We have a Fawn for the formation, but I'm pretty sure you all knew that. But yeah, the star of the show here is going to be Cahir. So, against Shieldwall, Shieldwall is the most common deck I played today. So hopefully we run into a couple more and show this off. But against Shieldwall, you just throw Cahir down. They run no removal cards. And the game just ends. If it's round, like if you won round 1, it's round 2. Usually you win round 1 because you go high tempo. And if you win round without Cahir, you throw him down round 2, the game just ends. And it's pretty funny. So he's in there for that. And he's actually pretty good. With 2 armor on his deploy, if you have 2 soldiers, he actually gets pretty difficult to remove, which is really handy. Do watch out for other Nilfgaard players. If they Invocation Cahir, and then play it with something like Joachim or their own Golden Nekkar, it could be a problem for you. So make sure if you're playing against another Nilfgaard player, you have a plan to deal with it if they do steal it. But yeah, that is it. And we have the Fifion here. He's going to give us Defender for our Cahir and keep him alive. Also can Defender the Serenova if you don't want to deal with that having problems. And if the opponent is going for a bunch of... Well, if they play the Sirens and you boost the Sirens for the Sihil matchup, and then they play the Gerd, you just throw the Defender in that row. And again, you kind of end the whole thing with Sihil here. But yeah, I just built this because I was tired of dealing with Sihil. And there was a lot of the Shieldwall decks, and I felt this would do well against both. Fruits of Yizgith, gonna be Relicts here. Cahir is really good. We don't really want Knickers in our hand. Vilgefortz is pretty handy here. So our hand's looking good. We have Defender Cahir. The question is, do we round 1 that or round 2 it? It's going to depend on who's playing Witch's Apprentices early, I think. Ideally, I'd like to save it for round 2, but I don't know if we win round 1 without it. Most of these decks, by the way, are Golden Nekkar decks. Most decks in the game seem to be Golden Nekkar decks at this point. Honestly, not a fan of that, but what can I say? We're running one as well, just because if you don't have your own tempo to match them, you kind of fell really far behind for that Aerondight, and then Aerondight becomes a huge problem. So we're kind of running our own Golden Nekkar, obviously. So I think here we'll definitely Megascope the Nilfgaardian Knight. The question is, do we want to do it? Let's just go Cahir Defender. We'll just try and get our tempo ahead here. I think our best shot here is going to be going for the round 1. So just get this high tempo going round 1. This is what you can open with a lot of matchups that don't run control and have boosting. And we'll just kind of stop any Witch Apprentice things he's got going on. The increased base power from Self-Eaters is going to be a problem, but we have locks for that, and he hasn't played one yet, so I'm not sure he actually has it in hand. There's a Witch Apprentice, so that's not really going to do much while we have Cahir. Although, to be honest here, we could just kill off the fruit and get rid of the Sabbath. I wouldn't mind that. Obviously, we still get the points when he boosts, but there's a chance that he is not running Golden Nekkar. It's a very small chance when we see the Knickers come out. But there's a small chance it's not Golden Nekkar. And if it isn't, he might have a Ursine, so this is technically better in that case, but we also want to get the engine set up from these guys going. See what his next play is. Now, our goal here is kind of win on even. We've committed the Cahir and the Defender, so we do definitely want to win on even. We also committed all 3 of our leader charges, but the idea here is that we win on even. We haven't played Golden Nekkar yet, and we should be able to get a lot of power from that as a short round finisher. We're going to lock here the Self-Eater, like I said. Increased base power would be annoying. There's our own Knickers coming out. We're up by 10. That's not too much for Relicts. They have stuff like Ratcatcher S is a 9. Who's the one? Okay, there's a Ring of Favor. But we have Cahir, so that doesn't really matter. Let's just play as many bronzes as possible. Ring of Favor is really poor. I don't know. I think he just doesn't know what to do. We have a 25-point Cahir, so that's something. Maybe he just wanted to pull out the Roach because Ring of Favor is a gold card and he knew he was going to lose on even. That's possible. That would have been a smart choice, so that's why he did it. I imagine it is. Lose our Ring of Favor, but we don't care. That's a good card to draw. Get our win on even. See how we want to approach this round too. It really depends on if we get the Golden Nekkar or not, what our plan will be. So we do draw it. We get Aerondight as well. How many specials are left in our deck? We've got 2 artifacts and a special. So if we get the artifact... Let's put this back, I think. Let's finish your draw. If we get the Megascope, it's obviously better than the Arcane Tome, because we don't have any special cards to play with Arcane Tome. They're all in our hand. But we can also hold off on Golden Nekkar for round 3, or put back one of our Echo cards round 3, like this Aerondight, and then play it with the Arcane Tome as a last say. Then he doesn't get to use the Tome. That wouldn't be bad. There is the Wispess doing 2 damage. It's not too great for him, I mean. It's fine for us. The thing here, if we go with a Megascope, we do fall behind and don't get points on our Aerondight, but the thing is, Aerondight's already pretty big, so I think we can accept that. So we just want to kind of play some bronzes, do some bleeding, and see if we can't find a Hengaith Sword onto something nice. The fact that it banishes is really handy. Siri Nova, we will Vilgefortz that, no question.
An interesting choice.
Okay, Ratcatcher S coming off of that. That's not the best thing I've seen. Definitely not the best. We actually increase his point total. Give him an engine. While you're here, by the way, guys, really appreciate if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, especially if this isn't your first time here. Do really like it when you guys do that. Lets me know you guys are appreciating content and everything. That is definitely a great card to hit with the Hengaith Sword. We'll take it. He still is up, by the way, as far as our Aerondights go, but our Aerondight's a 10-ish, so it should be fine. I would like to hold off on Golden Nekkar. If we can get him to play Golden Nekkar this round and keep our own, that should give us a round 3 win. Okay. Perfect. We could also play our own Golden Nekkar. The Megascope is going to get a target. Aerondight. Okay, how big is Aerondight? 5? That's not very big. It might be worth trying to stop that getting bigger. He does have 5 points coming, so he's essentially at 32. I think we go for this. We take the Ratcatcher S. The Invocations are only special cards, so we knew we got that 11-point swing. And this should be good. If we had a different, if we didn't only have the Invocation, that was a lot riskier, but we knew we only had Invocation for a special card in our deck, so we can take that Ratcatcher S. It's going to be a good round 3 play, so we're glad to have that. He's got that 9 points there. He does have a lot of Self-Eaters. I'll give him credit where it's due. So we get 8 points from the... Do we stop one of the Self-Eaters? That's the question. I think... Maybe not. Let's go here. The reason why I wouldn't do that is if he has a Witch Apprentice, I'd rather kill that. But I think he may have played them both, now that I'm thinking about it. No, he did. Keep the Aerondight then. If he has any kind of scary cards we want to answer it, we have a fair amount of points here. That's a lot of engine boost, though. It's a lot of boosts. We probably should have played this Aerondight. Probably should have. Let's go Nova. Gets what, like 2 extra points from us not killing that Self-Eater? That's not that bad, really. Drudgery of Vol. Just 6 points. I think we forced this last card out. There's a chance it's Spores or something that plays for 0. So it's definitely worth this, because this has Echo. Do we want to... Yeah, we wanted to hit this just in case it's Spores, like I said. There's a chance this is Spores. When I talked about the deck, I did say I've seen a lot less Spores, which is true, but he still might have it. We're still in a good spot. Round 3, our Aerodight's much bigger. We have Nova carryover. We should be fine. We have his Ratcatcher S for a big tempo play. So once this goes to round 3, I think we win. Wait, that's only 3 points. Oh, Toad Prince not having a target. Feels bad. We're going to 2-0 this guy. No, that doesn't give you extra points. Actually takes away a point, but GG. First game there is a win. Cahir doing his job round 1. Shieldwall. So this is one of the decks I mentioned I built this to fight. So let's hope that it actually wins this matchup. It really should. Like, this should be a really good matchup. We do not have Cahir. That's fine. We can either open with him to guarantee a win on even, going second, and then use that to exploit and pull out, but basically push him round 2. Or we can go with him as a card we want to play before the King Rognar comes down. Yep, this is a very, very standard play here. A play that he will get punished for, because we're going to take that with Invocation. Once we get our turn. So yeah, what is up with that turn timer? Okay, we're here. So we're going to take this, and we're going to boost our Roach here, so that we get an Aerondight boost. Very nice. And now we're going to Golden Nekkar, and we know that our unit is going to be that Dandelion, so we don't run the risk of getting a Fawn or Knickers, which is really nice. There's a small chance we pull our... Well, there's a chance we pull our Aerondight. Is it small or not? We have Hengate Sword. We played Invocation. So we probably... Is it Aerondight? Yes, we get the Aerondight when we play the Golden Nekkar. Is it worth a weak Aerondight for a Dandelion? I think so. Of course, we can also try and stop this Windhelm. World Decree, by the way, wouldn't be a bad inclusion in here, but you're already thinning so much. Like if you're not running the Ring of Favor, Golden Nekkar. You're not running the favor, not Golden Nekkar. If you're not running Ring of Favor, World Decree might be a good card to include because you have several very impactful units. And we'll just remove that shield. He's gonna temporarily DC. So there's the lock. We do have, well, later we'll have Cahir, and I think he'll regret this. He's gonna reshield Windhelm. We could try and get our pikemen to start picking those shields off, but then we have to Afan. I think it's worth it. So we'll do this and boost here, get our Afan out, and just kind of hope that these pings hit the armor. Once we get the second pikeman, it's really likely. Yeah, it's nice that we got that this turn. Didn't expect it, but it's nice that it happened. He's gonna reshield here. Ooh, that means we're not ahead if we go for the pikeman. I think we go for it anyway. Oh, Knickers comes out. Okay, that's good. That's good. We still have that Dandelion on top of our deck, by the way. Man, if he didn't use that order, we would have played Cahir. Oh, we don't have Cahir. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff Cahir is really good against. You could run the Forbidden Knowledge if you want, by the way. Let's get that Dandelion out now. We have gotten a few more points on this Aerondight, so it won't be as bad. It's 4. Let's just remove Windhelm's shield. There's no guarantee our pikemen hit it. And let's just make another pikeman. It's not looking bad here. We never did play our Nilfgaardian Knight, but these pikemen are pretty good. So that is a card we would like to kill, but we unfortunately can't. Let's boost our Nilfgaard so it's a bigger tempo play later. By the way, with these Dandelions, we can actually inspire the Dandelion. Pikemen doing work, that is for sure. But as long as we're pinging shields off, we can guarantee that there's no King Rognar finisher this round. Or she's gonna have double resilience for round 3. I'm gonna shield that guy up. I think it might be time for Ring of Favor. We can inspire our Dandelion with it. That's not bad. I think I like that. Get ourselves a little more carryover. And with 4 pikemen, we can keep pinging all these shields off. King Rognar can't come down this round, because nothing's gonna have shields. Windhelm, if he keeps reshielding it, it's going to keep losing that shield. And potentially, if he plays 2 more cards, we can actually get in a situation Head Gaith Sword, Syrian Nova, maybe, if we hit some lucky pings. Nope. These guys don't Ring of Favor. Not too surprising. Go for our Dandelion again. Let's boost Cahir this time. His weakness is usually as a tempo play. We can kind of fix that here. This isn't going to get anything great, but this will be better than nothing, I suppose. The Nilfgaardian Knight. We can do the... We'll do this boost first. This is good because we're going to waste the damage otherwise. And now we get more carryover. A little more value right now. Gaith Sword's really good for that carryover. You don't always want to run the Gaith Sword in these decks with heavy reliance on tempo round 1, because it isn't a great round 1 card. So you could cut it for that reason, but I just really like the card. I've always liked it. I'm glad it's actually pretty good now. Kind of see what he's deciding on. Okay, that makes sense. Gonna draw, maybe shuffle back a bad card he had. We do have those pikemen doing 4 damage here. He's gonna reshield Windhelm again. We do have those 4. We have 4 pikemen though, so let's just kill this. We will get ahead here. Didn't hit Windhelm. That's fine. Would have been nice if we did, obviously. Again, removing shields. We had 4 points at the end of our turn just for passing. It means this has to be a big play by him. So he's going to get 2 from Windhelm. We're going to get potentially 4, but likely around... There's a Peller. I mean, we're fine just playing this here. We get more carryover from Dandelion. And it appears that Cahir's on top of our deck. Got the Dandelion boost. That's good to know. Dandelion does give you a little bit of information with the Inspired. We'll play this. He's not going to have removal for Cahir. And we already boosted him up. So if he does have removal, it'll be kind of hard for him to use on it. And looking pretty good. Although, we do have to point out he has 14 points of carryover. So 2-0 is kind of unlikely here. But we did draw Cahir. This hand's really good. Do we want this sword? Yeah. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Do we... Syrian Nova is really what we want to draw. Is it worth risking for a Syrian Nova draw? Nilfgaard is good too. Nilfgaard is good too. I think we try for it. Perfect to get the Syrian Nova. Sorry, I took a wild pick there. We'll play ours at that round 3 carryover. We could just pass after 1 card here. He does have a lot of tempo. Not tempo, he's got a lot of carryover, so he has a very strong setup already. But with some points carried over here for round 3, should be good. And we do have Arcane Tome to pull out that Hendgate Sword, and Hendgate Sword itself. So we're going to get 3 draws and 2 redraws and 9 cards, and 2 of those are what we want. We should get it. In theory. There's always a small chance you don't draw it. Ooh, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. The Immortals are gone. So normally that's a bigger deal than it is right here. But, in this case, not so much. If he did have it, we have the Cahir, right? So Cahir stops that. Because we steal all his points, and Cahir's an 11. That's nice. If you're looking for it's a big tempo card, and the Arcane Tome will pull out our Hendgate Sword. Is there anything else we really want? Lock might be nice. Okay. Perfect. We had 2 of those, so it's a pretty good chance we drew 1. This way we can stop the Griffin Witcher Adepts, because they give him engine value without boosting. And that's what we kind of want to stop. There's Keldar. Not a bad Vilgefortz or Lock target. Let's go with a Lock. Just throw this out here. Vilgefortz may have been better on this, but I was concerned he might have a Donmere of Troy. Once they run that. And they have a Donmere of Troy. We can't get through it to hit the unshielded cards. Okay, there's his Golden Nekkar. So Aerondight is a 13. That's going to kill our Cahir. Rather unfortunate. So that kind of ruins a little bit here. Makes everything a little bit harder. Didn't realize his Aerondight was that big. Let's go for our own. We have a fair lead here. He has no leader charges, so King Rognar is not nearly as good as normal. Because without leader charges, he's probably just going to play like 10 points or something. And we do that Vilgefortz with Last Say. Although ideally we probably want to go... Okay, Keldar is really big at this point. Keldar is bigger than the King Rognar is going to be. Let's go into the sword. Is there a special card you could play that would be bothersome? There may be. There's a chance. Let's just do this. It has a... Oh, there's the King Rognar. So he never even had it in his hand. It's a GG. He never even had it in his hand. Not that I would do him much good if he did, so. And we'll just pass here. This is plenty of points. GG. And this is exactly kind of how the deck works. Our Cahir did die. So it's sad. Pincer Maneuver deck here. We have a really good hand. Really good for what this guy could be running. Yeah, the only thing missing is Cahir. So, there's 2 things. This could be Meditating Mage is really popular. So, that's probably what it is. It could also be the Traveling Priestess, although that got nerfed. So, I would expect more likely to see Meditating Mage. But Traveling Priestess, not unthinkable here. Okay, so we could Arcane Tome, but the thing with Arcane Tome is that if it's Traveling Priestess, we give them access to some stuff, or if it's really if it's any of those decks, we don't really want to give them access to searching. And yeah, we don't want to give them access to the searching. So we could have gone Invocation here. Darin. So it's Meditating Mage. It's Meditating Mage that changes things a little bit. We have what? Hendgate and Invocation. If it's the Meditating Mage here, he's not going to really get... I don't think they really run any special cards other than Amphibious Assault. Let's go here. I'm kind of committed to this no Invocation thing. Well, Hendgate Sword now does get the Darin, which is what we wanted to set up. So that's really nice. We have a lock, we have an Aerondight, we can banish one of these. So we have the thing is here, I'm not super concerned because we have a ton of control. Is why I'm not overly concerned and just straight go into that invocation. Make another pikeman. This is going to be a long round 1. Just boost this guy. Pew. Good job, pikeman. We need that bonded going. I think we might golden Nekkar here. But if we get the red sword, then that's bad. And Jade sword being the red one. We also want to get a Fawn out of our deck and Roach out of our deck before we do the golden Nekkar. And a great way to do that would be this. Now we do have to go for this invocation, so not the most efficient way to invocation. I tried to hold off on doing it. Might not have been the smartest thing to do, but we'll see. He's going to pull Amphibious Assault probably here. Doing a favor for a boost, okay. See what he gets here. Might be Ownermancy. Sometimes they run Ownermancy instead of Amphibious Assault to get to Seiya. Okay, so it's going to be Wyvern Scale Shield. I guess that makes sense in these decks. That was not Idarin, though. So, let's just kill the Idarin. We've already mostly used our Megascopes, so it's not going to be an amazing card for us. Alright, it's getting a little less efficient now that we hit that with that ping, but that's fine. We do have to play the Megascope melee, which is a little annoying because the pikemen also have to be melee. So we're going to fill up our melee row, which means we can't lock with this Elbow Armored Cavalry. But with all these pings, he only does have these 3 guys. We do have the Aerondight. So there's another one. 6 damage. I think we want to do another turn first. We could just ring a favor. I think it's better to have the pings going here. I think it's probably better to have the pings. I'll just ring this. Pew pew. Getting some damage. Doesn't have very many. He's still set to Seiya. And we're up by 36. That's a very low tempo play. So we're up by 29. Let's kill this one now that's at 7. That's what we waited a turn for. 2 more pings. And he can't win this round anymore. He's already played his own Ring of Favor. So he doesn't have any high tempo plays left. Like his highest tempo plays Amphibious Assault if he's running it. R2's Adept. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have the points. He has to Seiya. And Seiya's a 6. So he only has 1 turn to get the rest of these points. We got 3 pikemen. He can't get enough points. So we're going to win this up 2 cards, which is really where we want to be. There's a second Adept gone, so we can't play 1 round 2 now. He still has to Seiya. Yep, draw your Seiya. And we'll thank him for playing the game here. Not the biggest fan of these Meditating Mage players. There's that round 1. We are up 2 cards, and we did win. Cahir would be really nice. This should be a 2-0. We want to try and draw that Cahir. Well, that's the only way it's not a 2-0 is if we draw a Fawn. That's annoying. We'll still try and stop these, though. Like, we can get rid of most of these. If we don't draw a Fawn, I guarantee this was a 2-0, though. We might still be able to do it, but it's going to be harder. We can also stack here with the leader ability and then play a Fawn from hand if we need to. And we will go play this 10 Gate Sword. Very darn. Darn not going to do much for us, but it does make the sword an 11-point play. Boost up here, make sure we're ahead for that Aerondight. We'll use that to kill another one of these Meditating Mages. Got another one. Let's see here. We don't have to kill it this turn, but I think we will. Even though Aerondight gets 1 point bigger, these Meditating Mages can get a point bigger from the Vitality. So It's an even. Thibius Assault's a really good card for him to draw. Alright, we do some math here. Like,
If only they knew.
so he gains. We play a card, he gets 2. We play a card, pass. So he gets 2 more points. Puts him to 31. A Fawn's in our hand, so we have 7. Let's go to round 3. I think we win that there. But honestly, it's probably safer just to go to round 3. As there's no way he wins this. Put a Fawn back. So was it? He had 2. Oh, we have leader charges left. Yeah, we do win that. I was thinking we didn't have leader charges, but we did. Yeah, we won that round. We should have 2-0'd him. Should have been 2-0. That was a mistake. That being said, he's not going to win the game, so.
Lady Margarita told us of this.
So we go Fifion, and then we play Cahir, and the game is over. The only way he gets value here is from these R2s at depths. He's going to make another one with this right here. Oh, he's going to go for patience. Okay, that's fine.
I need sleep.
And we play Cahir, and this is a GG. Let's thank him first again. So why not? This is kind of what they rely on, by the way, these mid-tame Mage decks, is if you have way more card advantage than them, the R2s at depths get them really good engine value. This is going to give us 4 points. Alrighty. So we do have that Afan and the leader. We have the... Let's do this. Doesn't really matter what we do here, because we have a win. It doesn't really matter the order we play stuff, so I'm just going to throw it down. This might not be the most efficient, but... I get a level on this point of Vilga Force, but this game's over, so it doesn't really matter. Just throwing cards out. And Vilga Force will seal the game here. GG. Next up here we have Ursine Ritual. So Self-Wound. This is less of a good matchup. Although having the locks... Oop, that was not great for a draw. That Roach. We do have several cards you don't want to draw on the deck, right? Afan, Knickers, and Roach. So you gotta be careful. You will end up drawing them eventually like this. It'll happen. It's not the end of the world either, because you can kind of save it for a tempo play later on. Roach coming out round 2 is pretty handy sometimes. Completely depends on the matchup, though. Sometimes you really want those points round 1. They gotta be more careful with your redraws. Say in a different Golden Nekkar mirror type of situation. It does have the discard there. That's fine. Our Aerondight's gonna be a little rough for Aerondight here. Skellige has a lot of round 1 tempo. Although I'm guessing he doesn't have Coral. Usually you play Coral. Usually you don't discard at all till you play the Coral. Unless your hand's full of gold cards. Yeah. Alright, what's the threat for? What you got? He does have the Coral. Is he gonna discard Morkvarg too? Does he have the perfect hand? There's a Morkvarg. Okay. So his opening hand is just too high tempo for us to contend with here. So I think we'll just go with the Megascopes. We're gonna have a weaker Aerondight, which is obviously not great. We could go for the Afan, but again, he's gonna discard here. No second skirmisher, so that's nice at least. He didn't have the absolute perfect hand. Let's throw out these Megascopes. They are 4 Persian cards. And by him getting this round 1, the longer this round goes, the worse it's going to be for our Aerondight. If we kind of go to round 2 early, so like we just pass when it goes down to like 6. And he goes down to 6, I mean. It's probably best for us. We can get our Aerondight maybe having more points in that round. Because there's no way he loses this round at this point. He has so much of a tempo advantage. And without Knickers out of our deck, without a Fawn out of our deck, I don't really want to play Golden Nekkar yet. So we don't really have that tempo play. There's the burner with her 2 discards. Yeah, this is so much. So that's not great. Let's just play this for the 4 provision. We'll just throw it out. It'll pass next turn. We do have Ring of Favor though, so we don't quite have to pass. It depends what he does, right? Like if this goes a little further, Ring's getting bigger and bigger. Oh, he says Ring as well. His was a 9. Well, we could play one more card. Our Aerondight's getting smaller, but if he... There we go, we're at Nekkars out. That's really what I wanted. We're good now. That's what I wanted out of our deck. But he... Oh, he passed. Oh. That's interesting. We get 8 points from the Megascope. Let's go for this. Now that Nekkars is gone, I don't mind this. We can kill that with the Hengate Sword. And our turn get 8 points here. And then we will go into a long round 3. I'm pretty confident in our long round 3 here. I'm pretty sure we have a good long round 3 here for versus him, right? Our big threat's going to be the Renew on whatever's wounded. Not the Renew. I always mix these names up. Restore. The Restore's our scary card here, but we have Cahir, so that's not a problem. Because he's not going to have target damage outside of not the Callus. But 5 damage should kill that, because he's probably going to ping it down to what we can hit with the Hengate Sword. By the way, we're holding on to the Roach, so I guarantee we don't redraw him round 3. If you're not planning on playing a round, you can hold on to a card you absolutely don't want to redraw. So you put it back in the start of round 3, we're not going to see it. When we draw our cards, that is nice. But yeah, like I was saying here, we have Vilgefortz for removal. We have Invocation for more permanent removal. We are going to have we'll probably get our second lock, and if we do draw, I'm going to keep it. And then we will have our Aerondight for some damage, right? So it's not too bad. Although our Aerondight's going to be really small here. But Cahir should stop the restore play, which is really good. Well, it'll still heal, but we'll take the boost part. There is Cahir. Put the Roach back now, put a Fawn back now. I'm not saying we're guaranteed to win, by the way, not at all, but I think we have a pretty good shot. Pretty good shot. Didn't get our second lock, that's a little annoying. Not bad though, might be okay. I think we'll be fine. The problem is here, how do we deal with the Defender? If we Invocation the Defender, Melusine becomes much more of a problem. If we Vilgefortz the Defender, he's going to renew it. Not renew. He's going to play the, you know what I mean. He's going to revive it, right? In this case, it'll be the Synagriff right? Or the Fukusha. So he'll revive it if we kill it. Then he'll have Doomed, and we'll have to kill it again. Which means the Vilgefortz doesn't really answer it. Neither does it answer Melusine, because he's going to bring him back. So the question is, do we immediately Heat Wave it, or immediately Invocation it, or not? I don't really want to. I think we'll go for the Vilgefortz method. Because there's a chance this gets something out of this deck that he doesn't want. Skirmisher. Okay. Get our Aerondight boosted. Because if we can get some tempo here and our Aerondight going, we could potentially kill the Doomed Defender with the Aerondight and Hengate Sword. And then use the Invocation on the Melusine. Or Sigvald. So I might have to do it on Sigvald, because we don't have the lock. The lock would have made it so we didn't need that. Go Pike. Stay a little ahead here. We're picking the Pike first. We need a little ping damage in here. We do a second Pikeman. We just want to make sure that not the Callus doesn't kill the Pike, because otherwise he'd throw it down behind the Defender right away. Although that actually we might have wanted him to do that, because then we can Hengate Sword the Defender. Hard to say. Still, man, what you got? The Melusine. Okay, so we'll keep saying heat wave. We're gonna invocation her, I think. Over second pikeman. She's really handy though, because her damage is gonna keep pinging down our. Well, he's gonna keep pinging down the. I really wish we hit the defender there. If we hit the defender there, be nice. Anyway, Melusine's gonna keep hitting the defender. Okay. Maybe we should have done our last leader charge. Although I thought if he had to give you a Scorpion Decoction, he would have opened with it. Let's defend her now. Maybe we should have opened with that leader charge. We're getting much benefit by waiting. But he didn't decoction, so I didn't think he was going to. I think that's big enough here. Decree into Grimace. They remove our defender. That's okay. So he has a replay of decoction as an option. Let's just remove this. So Cahir needs to have 2 soldiers next to him to survive the decoction replay if he has it. Obviously he's rain out for that. I'm just thinking ahead. Okay, so there is the Vildkarl. Really wish we got that Sirenova this game. Round 1 or 2, but we didn't. That's fine. Round 2 we wouldn't have played it though anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. Really wish we could get him into range of Hengate's sword. Might just throw down this guy. I want to hold off on Cahir till last say. So we can go Cahir, and then if he has Restore, he can't do anything about it. So I think Cahir's going to be our last play. Then we'll Invocation the Sigvald, because Sigvald's the problem card here. And then we have Hengate's Sword for the Not the Callous. So that's what we're going to do. Hengate's Sword's for Not the Callous. Invocation is for Sigvald. Cahir is last play. So we just throw down Nilfgaard Unite and the other cards, whatever order he plays his cards in. That's how it's going to go. We'll just see if it's enough points to win. Should be pretty good. There's the Sigvald, so like I said, that is our invocation target. Now there's a chance he does not last play Restore, which would be unfortunate, but I think... No, he would definitely last. You last play the Restore. So the Cahir is our last say. He plays it early, it's not good, but I don't think he's going to. I don't see why you ever would play it as not last say. No, you definitely keep it for the last play. No, you keep it for last play. There's Not the Callous, so Hengate's Sword will do that. There's actually a chance here he doesn't do the refresh, but he definitely do. Like, there's a chance he doesn't. Okay, he didn't. So that makes things a little different here. Oh, no, he's going to. Okay, good. So the Hengate's Sword will come down and kill that. Pearl will give us some temple. We'll play her here so that the armor is a higher chance of stopping a few things. So Cahir, or the Nilfgaard Knight, is worth another point over Sigvald if we have Cahir out. That's the Directory of Vol. But Sigvald can block our rain damage. No, the bleed didn't go off. So we're kind of hedging here. So this is his last card. I'm pretty sure this is Restore. So let's give him the Well Played. It could also be Fukusha. He has not played as Fukusha, but if it's Fukusha, we have enough to win. But I really hope it's Restore. We've been saving up this Cahir whole round for this. Otherwise, it's Fukusha. If it's Fukusha, he probably goes into Bride, into Decoction, in which case we still win. It'd just be a little sad. Ah, it's Fukusha. I really wanted it to be the Restore. Not the Callous. Whatever. He's going to get some value from this heal here on his Champion of Sigvald. Actually, it's going to be pretty close. But it's going to be pretty close, but I think we still win. I think. I'm not sure why he damaged that. Okay, I feel like he didn't do this the most optimal way. There's definitely a better way for him to do that. Where he might have won. Well, GG either way. I think there's a way for him to win that. Another Shieldwall player. Not too surprising. I think we'll play an extra game or two with this deck because I really like it. Having quite a bit of fun with it. Went on a bit of a win streak, doesn't hurt. Not at all. And the last one was our promotion to pro rank, so that's nice. Not really sure what we're waiting for. Just play your Dandelion. Okay, it's gonna be Immortals. Open with the Immortals. If he opens Immortals, we'll go Defender Cahir, because we do have both. Then, so there's two ways to approach this matchup, right? We could either save the Cahir for the last round of the game, or, like we're gonna do in this game, is we could try and use him to get a win on even round 1, going second. This way I like a little better, because it does get our Aerondight bigger. And then we can just bleed out all of his cards round 2, essentially. We have several good Echo cards. And essentially now we've won the round. This round is now over. We'll see when he figures it out. But we're just going to play bronze cards now. Seems like he doesn't like the situation. Taking a little while on his turn. Alright, he went for his own Golden Nekkar, looks like. That's a lot of tempo. We could play hours, but look, we're still pretty far ahead. Let's just block this. This transform gives him points without boosting. This round is still over, by the way. And the other nice thing is we actually got his Golden Nekkar too. So we're going to play like Pikeman and Tortoise. Hopefully set up a Hengaith Sword. Let's play our Siri Nova. Potentially Ring of Favor. But that will definitely be enough points to win the round. Without the option for him to boost. Not a great card there. I mean, it's not a bad play, but it's not going to get him the round or anything, right? Let's hopefully... Well, we'll just play the bronzes, like I said. Okay, so that one could give him points if he goes for Keldar. Goes for Keldar. We don't have a great way to kill it, honestly. We could Indication it. Oh, he didn't shield it? We don't even have to Indication it then. That's just Hengaith sorted. Thank you. That's really good for us. If we can play that before... If we play that before Golden Nekkar, The Golden Nekkar will trigger it, and then the special card it'll play will trigger. And if the artifact could be Tome, which could trigger it, depending on our deck setup. So that's actually really strong. Keldar is a fantastic card for us to get. But like I said, these decks just don't run removal. So we're completely safe from everything. And this is the danger of decks without removal. Any deck with no removal is so subject to combos like this. And we do want the Vilgeforts. Do we want Pikes? They're pretty good for pinging shields off, I'll be honest. Aerondight's pretty good. Let's put that back, though. We didn't get it. Too many special cards in our hand. It's unfortunate here. Let's play a Pikeman. Want to set that Megascope up. He's not going to kill this. Yeah, we wanted to keep a second special card in that deck. Because Golden Nekkar plays one, and then the Tome plays one. And now we don't have something for Tome. It's not the end of the world. Okay, well, that card is going to be ours. Thank you for Dandelion. Windhelm. Okay. Unit-wise, we have 2 units to answer this. One special card that doesn't really... Let's just go Megascope. The Bonded will ping it off, probably. Let's see, buddy. What's your play here? The Aerondight. Okay, so we're not going to get the Bonded. It's a little annoying. We'll hit this, though, and get Keldar. Then we'll go Golden Nekkar after this. That will give us a bunch of Keldar points. The Aerondight was his only removal card in the entire deck. So we should be fine. Puzzle box. That's good, actually. We don't want this Arcane Tome. If he picked the low provision card, we can transform Tome, and that's actually really nice. We weren't going to be able to play it. So let's reshield the Windhelm. Transform his Tome, hopefully. Let's go into this. This will give us a lot of points. So we get the first of these students. We hit this. Keldar gives us another one. We'll copy this Pikeman. And Keldar gives us another Witcher student. So, oh, and we did get the transform, so that's nice. Looking good so far. He doesn't... His King Rognar is going to be really bad, because he's not going to have units. Like, he's not going to have enough shields to rip off. So it's not going to be big. Sirenova does give him one. Like, our Sirenova would, too. We'll boost Vilgeforts. Vilgeforts here. Sirenova. We do Sirenova last in case he King Rognar's this turn. Pikeman's ping off shields. Perfect. King Rognar now has no shields. He has the leader to get those shields back. And we're up by quite a bit. So King Rognar's at 10. Plus double leader's 14. It's a couple points there. But it's just not enough. We'll play Sirenova for carryover, but I'm pretty sure it's a 2-0. Keldar giving us, what's this? 3, 6, 14 points worth of value. Not bad. And that is a GG. Imprisonment. Like I said, we'll play an extra game or two just because this deck's going on a bit of a win streak, and I don't really mind making this video a little longer because I'm having a lot of fun with this one. Not often you see Imperial formation doing so well. Not often indeed. Oh, are you kidding me?
Time to get our hands.
And are you kidding me again? I said we're going on a win streak and I was having fun. Now I'm not, because that was some ridiculous RNG. Let's just see if we can't get him back for it. Nope. Of course not. Whatever. Man. This goes right into that Kingslayer. Then gets the Handgate Sword on our guy too. Okay, we have to play a little more carefully here. We weren't ready for the instinctive counter RNG on the Vilgeforts. Maybe not the best idea. But the nice thing is that we don't have to worry about being ahead anymore, because Aerondight is not in our deck. Thanks to that RNG he got. So that makes this a lot harder. And the thing about Imprisonment is he can lock our Cahir, so it doesn't do anything. A little Megascope. How do we actually win this now? Because that's really annoying. I have no idea why he just passed. Oh, we drew Knickers. Ew. That's not good. Doesn't really matter. Well, Surinova for Carver. I just don't like seeing Knickers. Right? It's actually good we drew Knickers, by the way. So if we redraw him, put him back in the deck here, if we mulligan him, we will definitely not be drawing him round 2, which is actually good. It's just instinctual reaction to drawing Knickers is to not be happy about it. Put him back. Put this back. Open with this Nilfgaard. I have no idea why he let us win that round, by the way. He should really just kept the pressure up. So he takes Surinova. He's going to get a second Surinova. So that's a bit annoying. I'm not going to lie. Bit annoying. Almost as annoying as this whole RNG of that Kingslayer. I'm still mad about that. If he gets... Okay, I was going to say, if he gets our Afan, I was going to be really mad. Because he already got one good RNG. We don't need him getting 2. That will do some work for us. It's crossbows. We have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 soldiers in hand? Nope, they're not going to really work for us. He's going to leader them both. The armor did block a lot of damage. That's not the worst thing ever. If he gets another Kingslayer, I'm going to be so mad. Okay, good. He didn't.
I hate nothing more than a creaky door.
I think if we go for our own Golden Nekkar here. The thing we have to watch out for is he still has the Hengate Sword into a Vilgefortz. So I want him to play that so we can... Okay. Of course. Of course. You're so good, my friend. So good. Well, that's really bad for us. Like I said, though, we wanted to do this before we played our own Headgate Sword, so then round 3 we can use it to make a Vilgefortz as well. That's really nice. We didn't have very many units in our deck, so there's a fair chance he could pull the Afan out with that Vilgefortz. I just didn't think he was going to go for it yet. It's also still annoying, even if it wasn't that high of a chance. We lose 5 points of tempo. Although it does stop us from milling another card. We have 1 Echo card. We should be okay. Verification. Question is, do we Cahir round 2 or 3? I think we play this. Then we go Cahir. Verification's the option for this deck, by the way. Not a bad card. It places one of these locks if you don't want them.
Focus on its movements. Quiet the noise in your head.
Well, that didn't work for him. We'll throw this guy out. Really unfortunate we didn't have him out yet, but missed out on 8 points of boost stealing. And here goes the Cantarella. Let's see it. Yeah, there it is.
Let us see.
And he mills us another card. Hey, Cahir's gonna do some work here, right? Like, that's not bad. What did we lock? Did we lock? I think we take this Surinova. We can't let him have that carryover. Surrender. Good to see you've got that teched into your deck too. We'll play this here. Do we... He can't pass. He still has Aerondight. I think he still has Aerondight. So Aerondight wins the round, even if we just go for like all in on leader charges. All because he pulled our Fawn out of our deck with that Vilgefortz. If we had those 5 points from a Fawn, we could probably do this round 2, or at least make him play both his cards, but we don't, so we're gonna have to pass here. And he'll just Aerondight us for 10 or so. Let's go. We'll see if we can't do this round 3, but we had... Not having Aerondight's so bad. It's worse than if he's ahead for most of the game. There it is, by the way. It's worse than if he's ahead for most of the game, because we just don't get to play it at all. And that's a big problem. Although we do have this Hengaith Sword, which is kind of our saving grace for this round 3. This isn't a fantastic hand. Yeah, that's what's left. Not fantastic. Let's play this guy first. Ideally, he has a bunch of removal cards, and we last say Serenova, then the Aerondight can't do any damage because she's shielded, but that's probably not going to happen. We'll go for the Vilgefortz here. Let's hope we don't get unlucky again. Okay, that wasn't really a great Vilgefortz. That wasn't really great. Oh, on Henry for 3 charges. We might lose this just because of that RNG on that Aerondight round 1. Like, we might just lose because of that. Not having it is such a big deal in this matchup. But we'll give it a shot. It's gonna be really close. There it is. That was smart. Get the extra 3 points. 13. We win by 1. I'm so glad we won this game. Can't believe that RNG on that round 1 though. Can't believe it. GG. That is the deck, guys. I think we won every game today. I think. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, once we start recording, we won all the games. Really nice to see that. Did not run into a Sihil deck, so we couldn't show off that matchup. Unfortunate. It's one of the things I designed this to kind of deal with. But I don't mind not running into it that much. Really enjoy using the Imperial formation. It's a leader you don't see very often, but definitely has its place. It doesn't have quite the tempo of Snowdrop into the Afon, Mage Assassins, and all that good stuff from Tactical Decision, but it still has good tempo. 11 points round 1 helps out with stuff like Golden Nekkar, and it doesn't have to worry about having those hand problems that you can run into with Tactical Decision, right? So with Tactical Decision and these Golden Nekkar decks, they're good, but you need to have Snowdrop in your hand really for round 1. And then if you have to hold on to the Mage Assassins and Afon, you usually don't have all 3 in your hand round 1. And as long as they're in your hand, you have to keep them there, and it limits the space you can hold other cards in. So Imperial formation is not that bad, and we're getting the soldier value, which is something we do want to talk about, these soldiers. So as far as changes to the deck, obviously you can kind of tell I do like this deck. I think it's pretty good. The things we would have changes for in the soldiers are kind of these pikes. Looking at the cards here for 5 and 6 provisions, there's a couple things we do want to shout out that would be really good. One is Maxi. So looking at your deck in order is really handy for the the Golden Nekkar. That's nice. It lets you make sure your stuff's in order. It lets you play Golden Nekkar early and not worry about pulling out a Roach or a Fawn or Knickers with it as the unit. So it's really handy for that. And you can make sure certain cards aren't on the bottom or are on the bottom. So Maxi is really handy. Another one to mention, the 5 version slots, if we're talking about what we could swap out the pikemen for. I think pikemen and crossbows are the weakest cards here. Is Verification. So Verification is really good for transforming that artifact. We do have the 2 megascopes we could transform, and the Arcane Tome potentially later on in the game. It wouldn't be too bad. So that is an option. Also worth mentioning is Mysterious Puzzle Box as an artifact we could play out of our deck. With just the Arcane Tome and the 2 megascopes, sometimes we get to an issue with the Golden Nekkar not having too many artifacts to play out of our deck, but Vial of Forbidden Knowledge falls in the same category. You could run these artifacts if you want to. It's completely up to you what you want to run. I opted for the Ardfen Tortoise instead as a 7-point tempo play round 1. We do want those tempo plays. You can also swap out one of the tortoises for a Spores. Spores still good against people running Golden, or against people running the not Golden Nekkar, I keep saying Golden Nekkar, the Ring of Favor. And with Shieldwall so popular, Spores is actually pretty good against the Immortals or the Sorceress, or potentially King Rognar later in the game. So it's actually a pretty good card you can still run. Wouldn't say anything about you swapping these out. I went with them because I had in my mind that this was a decent backup for the Megascope targeting, but turns out the Pikeman worked out quite well for that as well. So the Verification, the Puzzle Box, you could run the Vial for Knowledge. These are all decent options here. Worth mentioning, by the way, if you want to cut both of the pikes and crossbows, which isn't too bad, I wanted to have some soldier synergy here. You can pick between them which one you want to have in your deck. There is one other soldier that is actually pretty good. And there's a couple cards. Where is Peter? I'm just missing him. He's here somewhere. There he is. So this reset on Peter is actually pretty valuable, especially against King Ragnar, quite like the Spores I mentioned is, and against the Ring of Favor. So this is actually a pretty decent consideration for the deck. I didn't go with it. And by the way, for those 5 provisions, like I said, for tempo round 1, there is also one other card I want to mention. So basically, what I'm talking about here is that you can cut the pikemen and crossbows for more round 1 tempo instead of these engine options. I like the engine options. I thought it was fun to play. It might not be the strongest for the deck since we're running Golden Nekkar, but I had fun with these. You could cut them for, like I said, Verification, which would be probably a really good card to include. I would like to have the Verification. This will make these changes real quick. So pikes out and crossbows out. And then we're going to put in the Verification, just kind of show you what the deck might look like with a bit more of this tempo focus. So we'll do that. We'll put in Maxi. And then we'll go with the other 5% option here, which is the Brigades. So the thing with Brigades is to thin your deck another card. To watch out a little bit about how much you're thinning, right? So we thin -1, -2 because of Echo. So that's 1 thin total so far. 2, 3, 4. Tome is probably 5. We're only going to use it once most likely. And then 6. So that's still fine. But yeah, the Brigades are nice. We do have enough soldiers. I think that they'll go off. So make sure you have enough soldiers for them. And that is a bigger tempo play round 1. So this is what you can go for if you would like to have a deck more like this. And Maxi could be a 5% card as well. The upper provisions I think are quite good. The only thing I would maybe change up here is if you don't like Cahir, that's fine. You could run something else. And if you don't think you need the Defender, you could run something else there. I really like the Defender though. It helps with Siri Nova staying alive, and it helps with the Cahir. Although if you're not going to run him, obviously you could run something different. A couple of good considerations for this being the Royal Decree for more consistency on a unit. That's not bad. And then you could go with any of the other provision cards you want to run. The Anna Henrietta isn't too bad as well. You could do something with her. And you could also throw in Snowdrop for consistency, right? So Snowdrop wouldn't be a bad consideration. Although you don't get the point value you would if you were in Tactical Decision. So do keep that in mind. But yeah, these upper provisions aren't the... So what is this? The Defender and the Cahir if you want. Although Cahir is really good against the current meta I'm running into. Not sure if you're seeing the same cards. If you are, consider him as a pretty good tech choice. A Hengate Sword, by the way, I think I mentioned this in one of the games that it's not the best tempo round 1. And in Golden Nekkar decks, sometimes that tempo is too important. You don't want to run this. But the value from it round 2 and 3 is just so high, I couldn't exclude it from the deck. But if you want to, you can. There is flexibility to these upper vision cards. And if you wanted to, you can just cut both tortoises like this. And then say we don't, then we cut the sword. And then we cut the defender, for example. I like the defender, and Cahir is really strong in the current meta, as far as I can tell, though. So for these, we will put in a Peter. Where is he? It sounded kind of funny. We'll put in a Peter wherever he is. He was at the bottom, right? Put him in. And we got a 5 and a 6, a 4 and a 7. Like, you could do whatever you want with these. The Tesha Mutna sword here is a good option. And Prophet is getting played a lot right now. I'm not sure just how good Prophet is. I'm not the biggest fan, but you could run it. And the last couple options here are either the Black Blood as a pretty cool option for an artifact. You can boost with the Nilfgaard Knights to kill something. Harder to set up here. But the other option is you could actually go with an Asiri and an Alyssa to try and recycle that Golden Nekkar. Without the tactical decision, it's harder to get them all in one round, but you could do it. I just didn't think it fit super well in the deck. So I like the version we had before, just mentioning things here. If I was going to change it to more control, I'd put this Mutna sword in. Everyone's running Sirinova Golden Nekkar, so the option to have a card that just kills Sirinova as another damage option is really good. And then where is Spores? I do like these Spores. This is basically the more all-in version on the round 1 type of thing. There it is. This is more of a version that's really focused on that round 1, where you're running into a lot of other decks running the same things. And this will do pretty well against the other Sirinova decks, basically. Xavier, by the way, Xavier here, really good against other people running Echo cards. That Banish can be very, very strong. So instead of Peter, you could go with him, since we do have the Spores. If you don't have the Spores, Peter's pretty good. Since we do have the Spores, you could run this Xavier. You could also go with an extra lock. We have 2 Alba Armor Cavalry. That should be plenty. But yeah, this is the deck. A little more in-depth in the card options here, just because there's a lot of them, and it's pretty fun to talk about. But yeah, this is the deck. This is what we climbed the pro rank with. Got a nice little win streak. I had a bit of fun with this Imperial Formation 1 today, guys. That'll be it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. And you can check out some more videos over here. And thanks for watching.